Today we're going to Berlin. But this isn't just a travel log. While editing this footage, I kept coming back to one question. What makes art powerful? Why can a painting make you cry, like it did for me in that gallery? Why can a wall covered in paintings can be stronger than any border built? Berlin felt the right place to think about this. It's a city with so much history, shaped by division, destruction and ideology. And yet, everywhere you look, there is art. Art that survived and resisted. Art that tells a story of freedom. Hello lovely people, I hope that you're all fine. So, a week ago I went with my Chilean family and friends to Berlin. Let's say I am used to the countryside, so going to our capital was very special. Walking through Berlin feels so different. There was history at every corner, and we went out of the train station and then first walked to the Reichstag. That is a building finished in 1894 and today is the seat of our government and federal parliament. And then the Brandenburg Gate, which once was isolated by the Berlin Wall. And when you leave it to your left and go on, there is the memorial for the murdered Jews of Europe, or the Holocaust Memorial. Those grey stone blocks are very overwhelming. And you know, while we walked there, I kept thinking that in spite of the regimes or any historical changes that were happening, the city and especially its art stayed there and remain until the present day. So we went to see an art exhibition in the Old National Gallery on the Museum Island in Berlin. The temporary exposition, the Schaf Collection, is a major exhibition of one of Germany's most important private art collections. It is very special because for the first time it is shown in this large-scale public presentation. It brings together around 150 works of the early 19th century to today, with a strong focus on French art of the 19th and 20th century. And with that, some of my favorite artists of all times: Claude Monet, Auguste Renoir, Paul Cézanne and Pierre Bonnat. Also, the Old National Gallery is a building special in itself. You know, I really enjoy this feeling of curiosity when you walk through the doors, and this tension when entering such an historical building and walking up the stone stairs in expectation of the marvelous art to discover in the halls. It's an excitement like standing on the edge of a special discovery. And then the paintings unfold in front of your eyes. It's so special when you don't know where to look first and want to see everything all at once, because it's already so overwhelming to be present in this room with all those special paintings. This impressionist light, vibrating colors and brush strokes that seem to breathe. I almost didn't dare to come so close to observe the brush strokes and texture of the painting. I didn't expect this, but at one point I was literally crying because of all this overwhelming beauty in front of me. Standing before a Renoir or a Monet, I kept asking myself, why does art hit us like that? And why can color and light on canvas feel bigger than words? And I also felt a connection across time. I think I wouldn't describe it only as a look through a window in time, but also being connected through feelings. As if the artist once stood somewhere with the same sense of wonder, and somehow that emotion is still alive. Even now and during this whole week after the exhibition, I kept this feeling in my heart and wondered, why actually is art so powerful? I think one answer could be, art gives form to what we cannot articulate or fully explain ourselves. There are emotions hard to put into words. Longing, grief, hope, love. But then you see a painting and suddenly you feel understood. Like it said, I see your longing and I see your search for meaning. I see your desire for something greater. I see the beauty in this very moment. Art can hold the depth of being human. But art isn't always so personal. In Germany, some art was censored and labeled degenerate. During the Nazi regime, anything that didn't fit their ideology was removed, mocked publicly or destroyed. Artists were banned, silenced or murdered. Art had to serve propaganda. When we visited the exhibition Topography of Terror, where the former headquarters of the Gestapo, the secret police of the Nazis, once stood, I felt the weight of history become so very real. You see how systematically freedom was taken away, and that makes you understanding something very important. Art was seen as dangerous because free expression is powerful. Until today, the story of censorship hasn't ended. Creative freedom is still dangerous. Why? Because art shapes how people see the world. And how artists see the world shapes their art and so on. Art shapes imagination. And if you can do that, you also can influence society and power balances. Show alternative ways of thinking. Art sometimes asks inconvenient questions. Art resists. You can try to forbid it, burn it, wipe it from the face of the earth, but even then, art survives. To see the art in the Old National Gallery was simply stunning. But Berlin hasn't only this side of art in the museums. The East Side Gallery is a 1.3 kilometer long preserved section of the former Berlin Wall. After the fall of the wall in 1989, more than 100 artists from around the world were invited to paint murals, transforming a symbol of division into one of freedom and artistic expression. Today, it stands as both an open-air gallery and a memorial, reminding visitors of Germany's division during the Cold War and celebrating the power of art to reclaim spaces of oppression and overcoming it with unity, love and hope. This wall once divided families and friends, a nation, and now it is covered with paintings. Now it speaks of freedom on those walls in bright colors. There's visual protest and also symbols of hope where people once were murdered. Yeah, I mean, standing there felt different than in the museum, but nevertheless less important. I think art has been and always will be so powerful because it is an act of freedom. It gives a voice and changed the perspective. The night of November 9th in 1989, the Berlin Wall was climbed. People crossed from both sides, they hugged, and a divided city began to reunite. The war didn't win, but expression and love did. So what makes art powerful? Because it shapes how we see justice, identity, humanity, and human dignity. It survives regimes because ideas are harder to destroy than walls. It gives voice to anyone who wants to make use of it. But I think the deepest impact is more personal. It changes us because, in my opinion, it reminds us of what is good in humans. In that museum, standing before those paintings, I felt overwhelmed, not by power, but by goodness, by the simple human longing for love, light, the longing that life should be meaningful. Maybe that's why art matters so much. It always tells the story of connection, of dignity and hope. So now be my guest and please enjoy a very special part of great art. Caspar David Friedrich knew all this. He painted over 200 years ago. Empires rose and fell, wars happened, walls were built and torn down. But these skies endured, and they haven't stopped speaking of the longing for hope, of light breaking through darkness, and the human desire for something beyond ourselves, beyond our limited horizon. In creating, we refuse meaninglessness. And maybe that is why art matters so much.